Good morning, good morning, good morning. And today we are at, I'm just trying to put this notice up, day 8. Can you believe we just about there? 8 days into the Snowflake Method. I am so proud of myself and I'm so proud of you for going through this journey with me. So we just have 2 more days, tomorrow and the next day. So we had a great weekend. At least I had a great weekend until I went to the store yesterday. And I just have to share this to get it off my mind. I should have wrote it in my journal. I was getting some coffee cream, and this guy, he was there getting some milk. And I think with the pandemic and the coronavirus just got me paranoid. Probably got a lot of people paranoid. So anyway, he was there getting his milk. So I scooted my buggy around my cart to in front of him. Now he was there, and I was like 2 doors down from him, and I was offended. He went around up to the next door where the juice was and just started coughing. Oh. Now, mind you, the man probably really had to cough, but I took offense to that. Why did he have to cough right there when I was there? He didn't cough at me or in my face, but he had his mask on and he was coughing. He was sick. He was sick. The way he coughed, he was sick. He should have been at home. And I said, he need to be at home. And he went down this other aisle, and I'm on another aisle, and I can hear him coughing again. At least he had a mask on, and that was a good thing. So he protected me and him. Maybe not him so, but at least his germs didn't splatter all over. And it was a surgical mask. So I felt pretty okay. But I came home and I took me some meds right away because I didn't want to get whatever he had. Well, anyway, I just had to get that off because it bothered me all night long because he coughed. I wonder how other people feel when someone get around them and cough. Don't know. This pandemic just got people just freaked out. I'm one of them. So anyway, I'm okay today. I woke up hungry, so I got up and ate breakfast. Well, I didn't have a traditional breakfast, but I had a kid's breakfast or a teen's breakfast. I ate pizza this morning and had a Dr. Pepper. But I got my coffee, and it's good and hot, and I'm ready to write. I'm ready to write. Oh, before I write, I went to a virtual painting pajama party with Jen Lowry last night. Be sure to follow her, click on her channel, which is in the feature of my YouTube. And look at our video last night. I didn't have any, well, my daughter asked, so you got some painting stuff? Because I completely forgot. So she has some canvas, different size canvas. She said, here's some canvas. I said, you got a paintbrush? No, I don't have a paintbrush. I'm going to paint without a paintbrush. You got some paint? No, I'm out of paint, but I can order some. I said, no, that's okay. That's okay. So I ended up getting my iPad. I had Procreate on there, and they have paint programs, and it's the first time I used Procreate. And I painted a couple of things. So if you look at her channel, you get to see some of the work we did because I sent it to her in a messenger and she showed it on display. But it was fun. And I think I may hold us a party, a pajama party, some kind of party eventually, soon, one day. But it was fun. So if you're an author, a writer, and you're just now getting started with your YouTube channel, that is a great idea to bring people into your circle. Is to hold these parties, these pajama virtual parties, these painting parties. It was so much fun. So let me move on to the next thing. Sometimes I get so excited. My husband say I talk too fast. I try to get everything crammed off in one conversation. That's just the way I am. December the 31st, we're having a Halloween, what is it, a witching writing hour. So I'm going to be dressed up in costume and all this other good stuff. And hopefully you will dress up in costume and kind of join us. And this is our official kickoff for NaNoWriMo. So we will be writing and eating Halloween candy, telling ghost stories, and listen to Halloween music. I may have a special guest with me too. Using my new features on Ecamm, it should be working perfectly. Did I don't know if I can bring in 4 or 5 people, but you know what? I probably just have to host it on Restream or what is it called? StreamYard or something like that, because it's gonna be fun. So be sure to mark your calendars for October the 31st, starting at 8 o'clock. But we're gonna have a pre-party October the 30th on Jen Lowry channel. So you check that out. I keep you updated further along. So let's move on to step 8 of the Snowflake Method. Let me put this in. And we're going to write a list of all our scenes. That's a lot. Yeah, we're going to make a list of all our scenes. And it may take you more than just a day to do that. So each scene, it happens at a particular place, at a particular time, including particular characters. And each scene must contain a conflict. Conflict is the gas that fuels your story. It will fuel that scene. So keep that in mind. Don't put in anything, they call it add atmosphere, or explain a backstory, or show the character's motivation. A conflict is the gasoline that make your story run. So you must have a conflict in each of your scenes. Scene is the fundamental unit of fiction. So yeah, there you go. So think about that when you write. You might want to use a spreadsheet. Some people use index cards for each of their scenes, which is pretty good because you can always shuffle around and move it however you want. Google has a Jamboard I really like. You may want to check that out because they have sticky notes and you can make them any color you want. And you can write your scenes out on those sticky notes and arrange it on this board. It's really a cool idea. I used it several times and I might try to implement it with this here step. I think I'm going to do a spreadsheet first. And on your spreadsheet, um, each row of the spreadsheet will represent one single scene. And 2, the Y column will summarize what happened in that scene. And 3, you may add more columns with timestamps, projected word count. So anything else you want. So think of that spreadsheet. Think of that single column. Okay, the single column you want to tell the point of view of the character of the scene. Then the Y column will be what is happening in the scene. You summarize that scene. And then you add another column, which could be like a timestamp when this happened, or a seasonal stamp, or a day stamp, or however, but it's a timestamp. And then you can include a projected word count, or how many words you actually wrote for that scene or want to write for that scene in each column. So you're free to make the spreadsheet as complicated as you want or as simple as you want. Or you can use your index cards or what Jamboard. But the deal about the spreadsheet is easy to see your story listed. It's easy to see whose point of view just at a glance. Because you're going to do it in a list form. I think I'm going to go with that method because it seemed a little easier. Yeah, they said this list will help you see the story at a glance and you can move your sheet around, your scenes around as needed. So we're going to focus on writing, listing all the scenes for our story. And if you don't know a scene at the time, that's okay. You can always go back and fill in the missing pieces of your story. So let's begin. We're going to go through an hour of writing and rearranging. And if you're not ready for step 8, at least you know it's there. I didn't do any blog posts yesterday, so shame on me. But I will have links to the blog post for step 8, and I will go back and have the links for the blog post for step 7 from yesterday. And let's see. Yeah, it's that easy. So let's begin, or you can start on what you're working on. Just know that the snowflake method will always be around, will always be banked at your convenience. So take your time with each step, get to know your characters, get to know your scenes, get to know your story. Just make it an enjoyable pleasure, because the journey is rough, but it can be so much fun. And my favorite part of the writing journey is getting to know my characters because they're like new friends, some of them, and they very intriguing, interesting. So let's get started. Let me get some music going. We're gonna start with the 10-minute writing warm up. So you can use this to brainstorm how you're gonna plan your list out. Okay, now we're getting ready to move into a 20-minute writing sprint. I'm working on my list of scenes. I'm just setting up my document in Google Docs using the sheets, the word sheets, what they call it, spreadsheets. And for column one, I have the point of view. Column two, I'm using the scene, like if it's scene one or scene two or chapter. I usually don't write chapters, I write scenes. That's how, and then I go back when I get ready to format, I convert it to a chapter. And then column three, who's in the scene? I would like to know the main characters that's in that particular scene. And a summary. And the summary of the scene. Then I'm gonna add a few more columns. I'm not finished with that, and I share that in our next round. So let's get started for 20 minutes of writing. Okay, that's pretty good. What I did is I created my spreadsheet, and I'm just gonna check and see if it works. The link works. Hold on. Nope, I put the wrong link. Oops, I'm gonna have to delete this. What I did is created a spreadsheet, a seed spreadsheet for you. So if you want to be able, if you want to use it, you can use whatever you want to use. But what I did, and I think I put the wrong link. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back to that link. Sharing. Yep, I sure did. Copy, copy. Let me add the right link. You can download it and actually make a copy. Let me put it in the not in the in the comment section. That way, I don't know if you can actually, I'll click on the link in the chat, but you will be able to look in the comment and click on the link. Hold on, let me write it up. Download. It's called Scene. Yeah, that should work. Let me click on it. Yeah, and you just click on the link that's in the comment. If you have a Google Drive, open one. I promise you this will help you so much with your writing journey. And then go to Files. And when you go to Files, you're going to click Make Copy, and it will copy over to your Google Docs or your Google spreadsheet, your Google Sheet. But yeah, do that. And you can use what I created, or and you can alter it and change it and add what you want to add, and delete what you don't need, and all that other good stuff. So on mine, I in column 1, that's the point of view. Column 2, that's the scene or the chapters. I like scenes. I always say scene 1, scene 2, because that's how I write. And in column 3, who's in the scene? So you want to list the characters, who's in the scene, in that particular scene. And then you're going to do a summary and include in that summary a conflict. You know, you got to have a conflict to keep that plot going forward. So that's, and then you're going to have 2 things I failed to mention. When you think about your scenes, you want to pre-plan in your head if you don't already know. You know, and I look at scenes like a movie. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. And we talked about that somewhere in our first part of the Snowflake Method. So you're going to have a proactive, there's 2 elements of a scene. There's a proactive and there's a reactive. Now, the proactive part of a scene, you're going to always have a goal. And you know what a goal is because we did that before with our characters. Then there's a conflict. And from a goal to a conflict, there's a setback. So your scene is either going to be a proactive, there's a goal that your character must try to achieve. There's a conflict that will keep that character from accomplishing that goal. And then there's a setback. So that's a proactive scene. Now, a reactive scene, either or, you're going to have one or the other in your scene. So a reactive scene, there's a reaction. They reacted off of something. There's a dilemma. And then there's a decision they have to make because of that dilemma. And I'm trying to think when Babe went to go see Getty's daughter who was in jail, it was a reaction because she was shocked. She couldn't believe her estranged best friend, her best friend from high school, killed her mom. She couldn't believe it. So that's a reaction that I have to write in there. And then that was the dilemma. The dilemma is for her, she didn't want to get involved because she hadn't seen her best friend in over 10 years. and she knew how her family truly feels about Getty and her daughter. So her dilemma is either help her or not help her. Dilemma is she don't want people when uh when Getty's daughter shared a secret, and I can't reveal that right now, to Bay in order to help her clear her name, the dilemma was, should I help her? But knowing about that secret, it led to her decision because she realized her daughter knew something only her and Getty shared together, and it will prove her innocent. It may prove her innocent. I can't say if it will prove her innocence or not because I don't want to give it away. But anyway, that was a dilemma. Then she had to make a decision. So that particular scene in my story, when Bay went to go see, her name is Vonnie. I'm not going to keep Vonnie as her name, to go see her in jail, that particular scene was a reactive. That was emotion involved, that was a dilemma involved, and then that was a decision, and she made that decision. So that scene was a reactive scene. Then you may have a proactive scene, the goal, the conflict, and the setback. And I think in the beginning, when Bay got the results of her DNA test, her goal was to go home to find out the truth. She wanted to find out why is her DNA why it doesn't match anyone else in her family. And she wanted to go home and find out the truth, but she didn't want to go to her family. She wanted to go to Getty first because she knew Getty knew the answer. So that was her goal, to go home. The conflict is when she got home and seeing Getty, well, realizing Getty has been murdered, that was a conflict. How's she gonna get the truth now from someone else other than going to her family? So that was a conflict there. And then the setback was she had to find out the truth from somewhere else. And the setback became another decision. Well, it wasn't a decision, trying to help figure out who killed Getty. So that just set her initial goal back on the back burner. And she had to think of another plan to figure out how she's going to get the truth from somebody, how she's going to get the truth from her dad who's suffering from Alzheimer's. He knows the answer. How she going to go around and get the truth? So there's a setback. Her initial goal was changed. So you'll keep that in mind when you're writing your scene. And the scene consists of a proactive and reactive, and those elements that I mentioned, which is proactive, there's a goal, conflict, and a setback. Your scene is either that, or your scene is either a reactive scene where there's a reaction, a dilemma, and a decision. So keep those two things in mind. You can download this spreadsheet and fill it in, and make sure you download it and make a copy in your Google Drive and change it however you want to do it. So I have that, and then I have the settings and location for each scene. There may be a different location in the town that that scene is taking part at. It may be in somebody's house. It may be at the beach. And yeah, so I got that listed on there. And then the time of day. You may want to know the time of day this particular scene is happening, because I have quite a bit where a lot of the scenes happen late at night or around, for some reason, Bay midnight just stuck with her. She wanted to do everything after midnight. And then your word count. You want to figure out your word count, and you can do that with different programs and type it in there. So that's how I made my spreadsheet to work for me using my, dealing with my cozy mystery. So you might want to change yours a little bit. You may want to use it just like that, but this is just a template, and that's something I want to offer you. So anyway, we're going to move on to, I got to stay with the time because it's a school day for my daughter. We're going to do, let's do a 7-minute wrap up. That way you can take your time and let this information absorb into your head and check out that spreadsheet. Okay, that completes our writing wrap up. So I broke my scene down. It may change a little bit because I'm going into the third part of editing. And I wrote this. My point of view was Bailey Ray Vaughns. She's my amateur sleuth. And scene one, who's in the sea? Bay and Rhonda. And the summary, I just write a one sentence quick summary. Um, after reading what I got, after reading the results from her DNA, she accidentally exposes her vulnerable side to Rhonda. She's in the car. I need to change that a little bit because she's in the car, and she's determined to get the truth from Getty. Now this is a proactive scene because Bay wants to know the truth, determined to find out from Getty. She's determined to find out the truth from Getty. Instead, she finds out that Getty is murdered. She drives up on the scene where everybody's at, and that's the body of Getty, who is murdered. Now she must wait. So, her goal was determined to find out the truth from Getty. Her conflict is, ew, I might have to check that out. Her conflict is realizing that Getty is dead. I might have to think on that a little bit because I don't think I did that right. But that's what I got. And the setback, now she must figure out who else can she turn to get the truth. Because she don't trust her family. She feel they've been lying to her for 28 years. But that's a proactive scene. In the setting, she's entering into Peyton County. She's on the phone talking to Rhonda. And it's 4 p.m. in the evening on a Tuesday. And then the word count, I don't know. I have to go back to my draft and look and do that rewrite. Because initially I had her on the phone talking to her cousin. And I don't think I want her cousin to know right now, but her cousin is at the scene with the suspect. So that's going to lead into another conflict within itself. So that's the premise. That's the basics of how you do step 8 is to write a scene, and I'm doing mine in a list form using a spreadsheet in Google Docs. So there's a link in the comments that you can click on, download, save, and apply it to your story. I hope this helped. There will be a blog post. I guess I would do that now so I won't wait too late into the day and get lazy. Until then, tomorrow we will be back for step 9. I'm so excited about step 9. And I want you to have a wonderful day. Stay safe, wear your mask, keep your distance. I'm glad I was at a distance with that guy. Yeah, I was at a distance. It's not like we was right there. He did have a mask on. His face was turned. But the fact that he coughed because he was so sick. It was a sick cough. Because you can hear that rumbling. I was like, oh my God. He could just have a cold or flu, but he should have been at home. Anyway, I want everyone to have a wonderful day, and I will see you again in the morning at the same time.